Hi, my name's Sharon Kitson. I'm the counselling project manager at the Faces in Focus project. We provide support for young people across the boroughs of Lambeth and Southwark between the ages of 11 and 25. We work very closely with the MAC UKs, with the CAM services, with the youth offending services, as we receive a lot of the referrals that come into the service for initial counselling and psychotherapy support. We do actually work quite well, I think, with a lot of the young people that come in, particularly who have maybe been through the trauma in terms of King's College, but also work with a lot of young people who don't necessarily meet a CAMS criteria, and I think that's really important to kind of highlight that. I know today's been very sort of NHS sort of policy-led, but there are a lot of young people that don't actually go through a service, but need to get a service. And I think in terms of being in the voluntary sector, which we are, in terms of who we are and where we're based, it makes it that little bit more easier for a young person to come and ask for help. I know doctors, GP surgeries can be very intimidating. Hospitals can be quite intimidating, and I think having something like the service that we have based in a very generic place in the borough of Southwark allows young person to actually come into the centre and ask for help, which normally does happen. I just wanted to add a little bit on to Jane's kind of presentation, because I thought that was excellent. Thank you, Jane. But just to also highlight the issue around girls and gangs as well, because I think it's all too often sort of focused on boys, young boys, and obviously they're a lot of that, they are the perpetrators. But I think it's important to also recognise that a lot of young girls, particularly who are sisters of boys in gangs, they're the girlfriends of boys in gangs, are actually involved in sort of a lot of that activity as well. And I think they not necessarily get forgotten, but I think it isn't actually seen as though they're actually a gang member, but they actually are, in terms of the types of behaviour. And a lot of girls that we see in our project particularly don't actually recognise the dangers that they're actually in. And I think it's one of the areas that our project is really having to highlight, where young women are actually concerned, and particularly when they're coming in and talking to us, of course, in a very, very confidential manner about the things that they've had to get involved with their boyfriends and so on. And obviously having to help them to understand what healthy relationships are like, because there's also a lot of sexual violence that also goes on within those gangs as well. So I just wanted to highlight that extra on top of Jane's presentation, because I think that was excellent. Thank you.